And the Calgary Stampede wraps up on Sunday. There was a concerted effort by organizers to help save the lives of animals competing in the rodeo this year. The News Forum's Western Canada Bureau Chief Hal Roberts explains how heart monitors are playing a significant role.
Every July, more than 1 million people visit Calgary, Alberta for a big party called the Calgary Stampede, also known as the greatest outdoor show on earth. Not only will you see cowboys and cowgirls participating, but close to 7,500 animals taking part in the 10-day event celebrating Western culture. That, of course, includes lots of bulls and horses. Some of the animals do face risks as they compete. According to the Vancouver Humane Society, which wants to see the rodeo portion of the Stampede shut down, 109 animals have died during the Stampede since the group first began tracking fatalities back in 1986. Animal health experts at this year's Stampede are trying to prevent more animal deaths by attaching heart monitors.
We are interested in preventing cardiac accident, cardiac issues in the chuck wagon horses, and we're monitoring their cardiac function during races. The monitor, so we have two projects to monitor the cardiac function of horses. One is we take a blood sample in the morning after the races on the horses. And with that blood sample, we can measure how much of a stress there is on the heart of these horses and how well they recover from the races. We have those heart rate monitors and fitness monitors that we put during the races on all the outriding horses. And so these will give us the electrical activity, the ECG of the heart, which allows us to detect if they have some arrhythmia or extra beats or abnormal beats of the heart during the races.
To help promote animal welfare during the hot summer days, Stampede organizers also provide shaded pens for the horses and bulls.
Well, the shading that we're trying over pens in the rodeo arena space this year is to see what animals would prefer. So we as people might think we know what they want, but it's great to put science behind it. It was really, really warm during Stampede time last year, and we've had some hot days this year. So would shade benefit those animals? It seems like a simple question, but what kind of shade do they prefer? Do they choose to go into it if there's the option between sun and shade? So putting science behind it helps us make that decision, knowing that that's the right decision, not just guessing.
Animal welfare activists have also expressed concern in the past for the heart health of the horses which compete in the chuck wagon races. Dr. Leguillette says the heart monitors will help address that issue. Outrider horses and those pulling wagons are outfitted with electrocardiograms before and during each race. Dr. Leguillette says that blood tests can also reveal which horses are most at risk of cardiac arrest.
So the blood test is an ongoing research project. We're on year 4 with the Stampede here at the chuck wagon races. And so we had a collaboration with the Calgary Precision Lab to validate a human test that picks up and detects. It's a very sensitive test that detects tiny damages into the muscle of the heart. And so we validated that test for horses, from humans for horses, and we use it at the end of the races, so the morning after the races, to see and make sure that the muscle of the heart of these horses really tolerates really well the racing, and to identify horses that could be at risk for cardiac issues, accidents during the races.
Barnes says the work and studies they are doing to protect these animals could impact an entire industry.
Well, we know there is an element of risk in all sports, so our goal is to remove any risk that we can identify. So this research is really an amazing way to put science behind decisions that we make. It helps us verify that we're doing the right things, and also can help us make future decisions that will benefit the sport, continue to make it even safer, and help it to continue to be with us and be celebrated within our community for years to come.
Barnes says they cannot completely eliminate the element of risk for the animals, but anything they can control, they certainly will. For the News Forum, I'm Hal Roberts.